am headed over to the mall and I am doing my Corona Busters 19K, and hopefully that's like, I guess, a little over 11 miles for you people that don't know the metric system, which you should if you don't already. So 19K, 11.2 miles or something like that. So yeah, so I'm gonna do that today, and I'm gonna have to walk it because I was 3 days into running my 1 mile a day, trying to get my times good on my mile before I started adding mileage, and I was texting and walking at the same time, and I was not coordinated enough to do that. So I'm headed over to the mall and I'm gonna walk it, and I am taking some, yes guys, some doll babies. We're taking 2 of the kiddos in the double stroller, and I am reborn pregnant. So for those of you who are only tuning into this because of my horrendous vacation on the Costa Luminosa, I am also a reborn doll collector or supporter of the fine arts for those women who have decided to give up their pursuit of trying to find an artistic career where they can actually paint and earn lots of money, and decided to paint dolls for a living instead, which they can make. These sell for anywhere from, the ones that I have, anywhere from $700 to about $3,500. And so at a time, so they can actually do multiple dolls at a time, although most of them are only reborning like 1 doll at a time. But so yeah, so I do support them. I think it's amazing. I have always loved babies. My parents have always called me a baby hog. When there was a baby anywhere around, from the time I was very little, I had to be holding it. My neighbor actually gave me her kids for the first year, several days a week, so that I could have my baby fix, and it was not her favorite time period of life, so she was more than willing to let me do the baby part, which she ended up having 4 girls because of it, because I took the stage that she didn't like, which her husband I think blamed me for a really long time that they ended up with that many kids. But so yeah, so I am a baby hog, and now that my kids have left the nest, one's in Denver, one's in Portland, which is very, very far away from me, I have no babies, and I have no big peoples, and my daughter was always scared of dolls. Somebody showed her the movie Chucky when she was only like 4 or 5 years old, and she went over to a neighbor's house and they watched Chucky, and since then she had to clear out all of the dolls in the entire house, and we couldn't have a doll in the house until she moved out. So when she moved out, my grandmother got very sick, and she ended up moving to my parents' house, and she was a doll collector all of her life. She had actually bought a house for her dolls, and when they moved her out of her house, she panicked. She thought that everybody was taking her stuff, which they were, and got quite paranoid about it. And so I bought her a reborn doll. It was my first doll, and I bought one for her, and she slept with it. She cuddled with it. Whenever she would go into her panic mode, they could give her the doll, and it would settle her down, and she loved that doll. And it started my collection of reborn dolls, and ever since then I have had dolls in the house. So I do play with them. I absolutely play with them. I hold them. I take the dogs and the dolls, because my dogs are only 2 pounds and 3 pounds. So my dogs and the dolls go for walks. They actually go into the bottom of the stroller, and because they actually can't be on a leash, they're too small. It would break their necks. So they go into the bottom of the stroller, and the dolls have the top of the stroller most of the time, although we have one dog that's very scared of everything, and the only thing that will settle him down is the doll. So if we're traveling in the car, then he has to actually lay with the doll. Otherwise, he can actually hurt himself really bad because he shakes and won't stop shaking for like 7 hours if we're on a 7-hour trip. So they're kind of a comfort for him. So sometimes he has to actually stay with the doll. But so yeah, so I take the dolls out. I absolutely do. I don't pretend that they're real babies. People that ask, although they look very, very real, I do inform people that they are dolls. And we have a large reborn doll community here in Fredericksburg. So there are actually lots of women that do this, and the store people know us. The shopkeepers know us. They hold the baby dolls. They play with the babies just like we do. We've created a situation here in Fredericksburg where everybody is very accepting of it. People that are new or don't know us, usually have lots of questions, and some people are like, oh my god, that's so creepy, when they first see it, but then they're really wanting to hold the baby. It's not a too horribly thing. But anyway, so I'm going to do an 11 miles here at the mall, which will probably take me a long time because I'll be walking in the strollers, so probably about 3 hours, and get my mileage done so that I can wear my medal, which I brought with me. I will actually do a follow-up video with my medal on, saying, woo, I did it. I am fasting, and I am not doing very good at it, so I'm getting probably between 18 and 30 hours at a time before I get something to eat, and then I start over and do another 18 to 30 hours. So right now, I guess you would call it intermittent fasting, but I'm trying to get to a point where I can get to a 30-day fast or a 40-day fast and try and get this weight knocked off so that hopefully my health improves. This virus knocked me for a loop, knocked my body for a loop. It's actually kind of woke it up. It maybe woke me up. Stuff that I probably may have been dealing with prior to, but hadn't had any symptoms from. And I'm not really completely sure about that. I know I'm feeling better, but my body has not. Maybe it's just now that I'm aware that, my blood pressure is through the roof. My, just having some weird stuff. So anyway, try and get that under control and see if it's my weight. Most likely it is. And see if we can't get from there. I actually contacted a holistic doctor, and I'm hoping that she can walk me through what I need to do on a behavioral basis and on a lifestyle basis. I am not interested in going on medicine. I wholeheartedly believe that medicine is a crutch, and it's a crutch I'm not willing to rely on. I would rather fix my behavior and make my behavior correct instead of putting a pill in my mouth so that I can continue to behave the way I'm behaving. And I believe that's important. I believe that's an important thing for all of us to know, that when you take a pill, you might be fixing one thing, or you might be getting something out of it, but it's affecting all of the rest of your systems. It's affecting all of the rest of your body, and not always in a good way. So I'm not interested in doing that at all. I'm interested in fixing the whole me, lifestyle wise, one behavior at a time. And hopefully today's walk will get me into that mode of wanting to go out there and get back into my running. And now that I'm not short of breath anymore, I'm not having the chest issues anymore. A lot of those things have gone now, and so it's time to get back into the swing of things and get my lifestyle back in order. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on today. That's what I want to focus on today. That's where my thoughts and my actions are going to go and take me, is walking and maybe a little cuddling with the babies, although usually when I take them out in the stroller, I don't really play with them out. I just have them in the stroller. So we don't want to flip people out too much, right? So they can only handle a little bit at a time. But see you when I'm done.